Let me ask you something. If you were getting ready to sell your home, what would you expect your listing agent to actually do for you? Put the house in the MLS, put a sign in the yard, schedule a few showings. Hopefully, there should be a whole lot more happening behind the scenes than that. Hi, I'm Barbara Jennings with eXp Realty. And if you're thinking about selling a home in Fredericksburg, Stafford County, Spotsylvania County, Prince William County, or the surrounding Virginia area, I want to give you a better idea of what a listing agent should really be doing for you. Because selling a home is not just about getting it listed, it's about creating a strategy from the very beginning. And every seller's situation is different. Maybe you've lived in your home for 20 years and you're ready to downsize. Maybe your family has outgrown the house. Maybe you're relocating. Maybe you inherited a property. Maybe you're going through a life change and selling wasn't necessarily part of the original plan. Or maybe you're sitting there thinking, I'm not even sure I want to sell yet. I just want to know what my options are. That's where the conversation should start. Not with paperwork, not with a sales pitch, with you and great conversation. What are you trying to accomplish? What matters most? Do you need to sell quickly? Do you need a certain amount of proceeds from the sale? Are you buying another home? Do you have flexibility with your timing? Those details can completely change how your home should be positioned and marketed. Then we start looking at the property through the eyes of a buyer. And sometimes that is very different from the way a homeowner sees it. You know every memory in that house. The buyers don't. They are walking through the front door asking themselves one question: can I see myself living here? So part of my job as a listing agent is helping you look at the home from that perspective. What catches the buyer's eye when they first walk in? What could distract them? Is there too much furniture? Does the house feel dark? Would moving a few things around make the rooms feel larger? Would fresh mulch or a few simple landscaping changes improve the first impression? Sometimes the smallest changes make the biggest difference. And no, that doesn't automatically mean spending thousands of dollars renovating your home. In fact, I've had plenty of conversations with sellers where I've told them, don't spend that money because our goal isn't to make your house perfect. Our goal is to make sure it is positioned well for the buyers who are actually shopping in your market. Then comes something I think sellers should ask every listing agent. How are you going to market my home? And I mean really market it. Because uploading the property to the MLS is just one piece of the puzzle. How is the home going to stand out when buyers are scrolling through dozens of listings? How are the photos going to look? What story are we telling about the property? Who is the likely buyer? Where are those buyers looking? How are other real estate agents going to hear about your home? Are we using social media, video, online marketing, neighborhood-focused content, searchable real estate content? Are we watching how buyers are interacting with the listing once it goes live? These are the types of questions sellers should be asking. With my listings, I use a detailed marketing strategy because I want as many potential buyers as possible to see the property, and every home is different. A 5-acre property in Spotsylvania should not necessarily be marketed the same way as a townhome in Stafford or a historic home near downtown Fredericksburg. The marketing should fit the property. Now let's talk about something sellers sometimes don't realize. Once the house is listed, the strategy doesn't stop. That's actually when we start learning. The market starts talking to us. Are buyers scheduling showings? Are they coming back for second showings? What kind of comments are we hearing? Are buyers interested but hesitating? Are similar homes going under contract? Did another home in the neighborhood just reduce its price? Did a new listing hit the market that is now competing directly with yours? That information matters, and your listing agent should be paying attention to it. One of the biggest frustrations I hear from homeowners is that they list their home and then barely hear from their agent. That should not be your experience. You should know what's happening. Even if the conversation is, Barbara, we've had fewer showings this week, and here's what I think may be causing it. That's useful information. Because good decisions come from understanding what is actually happening. Then we get to the exciting part. You receive an offer. And this is where it gets interesting. Because sellers understandably look at the purchase price first, but I'm looking at the entire offer. How is the buyer financing the property? How much earnest money are they putting down? Are they asking you to pay closing costs? Is there a home sale contingency? What are the inspection terms? What happens if the appraisal comes in low? When do they want to close? Are there terms in the offer that could create additional risk for you? A strong listing agent should help you understand the whole offer. Sometimes an offer with the highest price is clearly the best offer. Sometimes it isn't. That's why we look at all the pieces before you make a decision. And once we are under contract, there is still work to be done: inspections, appraisals, title work, buyer financing, possible repair negotiations, deadlines, documents, walkthroughs, closing. There are a lot of moving pieces, and part of my job is keeping those pieces moving while keeping you informed. So when someone asks me, Barbara, what does a listing agent actually do? My answer is pretty simple. A good listing agent should help you prepare, help you make smart decisions, help you position the property, market it effectively, watch the market, communicate with you, negotiate on your behalf, solve problems when they come up, and help you get from that first conversation all the way to handing over the keys. But there's something else I think is really important. You should feel comfortable asking your listing agent questions. You should understand the strategy. You should understand the paperwork you're signing, and you should never feel like you're being pushed into a decision simply because someone wants another listing. This is your home. This is your equity. And for many people, this is one of the largest financial transactions they will ever make. You deserve to understand what is happening every step of the way. So if you're thinking about selling your home in Fredericksburg, Stafford, Spotsylvania, Prince William County, or the surrounding Virginia area, and you have questions about what the process would look like for you, reach out. You don't have to be ready to put a sign in your yard tomorrow. You may simply want to talk through your options. Call or text me, Barbara Jennings, at 540-840-1133. Tell me a little bit about your home, why you're thinking about selling, and what questions you have. We'll start there. I'm Barbara Jennings with eXp Realty, and I'd be happy to help you figure out what your next move could look like.